Hey guys, Peter Jordan from Lost Iron Fly Shop, and today we're going to be tying this. We're going to be tying the slippery shrimp. A nice, simple, easy to tie shrimp pattern that works great on redfish, bonefish, speckled trout, just about anything that will eat a shrimp. So you guys stick around, let's get one tied up. Alright guys, let's get started. I'm going to start off and I'm going to be using Vivus monofilament thread. I'm going to do a full thread wrap up. Come on back with it. I really, if y'all been watching, I enjoy tying with monofilament thread because it always is just the perfect color every time. And always make it whatever you need it to be. But this new Vivus thread that I'm tying with is super fine and extremely strong, and I'm really enjoying it a lot. So first up, we're going to put some eyes on here, and you can use whatever size eyes you want to use, but I'm going to use some tungsten eyes, and I like these real small tungsten eyes because they get down really fast and they don't have a whole lot of resistance in the water. So these are flat end tungsten hourglass eyes from Hairline. We carry them here at the store, and I'm just a big fan of them. Alright. Now one thing we want to keep remembering with this slipper shrimp is that the space you have in front of the eyes is the space you have to finish up your fly. So give yourself ample room. Just nice little figure 8 on there. Lay that flat, get that just the way I want it. And next up, I'm going to come on with some Loon Flow. Get it on there. UV it up real fast. Doesn't take but a second. There we go. Nice and easy. Alright, now we're going to work our way to the back of the hook, and we're going to be adding some Hairline Ice Dub in Shell Pink. Use any old color in the world you want to. Alright. Bring this thread to the back. Bring it to the back of the hook right there. Turn the device a little bit, make it a little bit easier. There we go. Alright. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this ice dub, and I'm going to stack it. So everybody's the same length and head in the same direction. Get the amount I need. And when I tie this batch on here, I'm going to lay it down, wrap up, take the back half, fold it over. That's about all you need. And one thing I tell folks all the time with dubbing is just remember, you can always add more dubbing as you go along, but you don't want to put too much on there. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to be using the Chacon's barred crusher legs. This is the wide. I really like these wide legs a lot for this pattern. And we're going to be using that pretty blue. Get that on there. And so with one of these wide legs, you can do the whole fly with it. Alright, so I'm going to take my wide legs and we'll fold them over, cut them in half. Alright, there's one set, and all I'm going to do, this is nice and easy, I'm just going to lay it down on the side. Nice loose wraps on one side, and I'm going to do the same on the other. And add just a little bit more flash. I'm going to be adding some red crystal flash to it. Just a little bit. Little goes a long way. Same as I did last time. I'm just going to take it and fold it on over. Pull down what I need. And I'm going to set one on one side and one on the other. Very nice. Got the squeaky bobbin today, I see. Alright, next up we're going to do just a nice little simple little dubbing loop. Really easy to do. If you don't have a camera between you and what you're working on, it's really, really simple. Alright, we'll lift this up real quick. And I'm going to use my Loon Gator Grip dubbing spinners. I'm just going to set that off to the side real quick. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm using some Fly Fish Food Bruiser Blend in white. This is a longer fiber, so if you need to, one thing I like to do is when I'm using this stuff, I'll take it and pull it, get it to the length I want it, get everybody sorted the way you want, and just remember you can always pull that stuff out to get it all set up. Alright, so we got it all pulled apart and set up. Do it a couple more times. Just go ahead and set it off to the side for what you're needing. And you got a nice little bit of flash already in here, so you don't really need to add too much unless you just want to. And if you do, that's just fine. Alright, so now I'm going to put this in my dubbing loop. I'm just going to set it inside here. Open it up a little bit. Slide it on in. First and 10, do it again. The same thing again. Slide it on in there. And you can add a little bit of swax or something like that to kind of help it stay where you want it. I'm not going to bother. We don't need too much. There we go. Alright, it's got everybody where we want it. Now we're just going to take it and spin it on up. Doing this in reverse. There we go. Now we got it going in the right direction. So as you can see, I've just got it in the gator grip. And I'm spinning, spinning, spinning. Getting it to where I want it. Very nice. And now I'm just going to take my bobbin. I'm going to get it up on out of the way. So squeak on to a new place. And I'm going to rest this guy on the mountains over here. Alright, now we're just going to take this and I'm just going to twist it up. Uh-oh. Now if it comes loose on you, like it just did for me, it's not the end of the world. Just come back down, clip back on it. Alright. Okay. Going back and forth. Just want to make sure we're not capturing too much material. Pull it on back. Very nice. Get it behind those eyes really well. Okay, I'm going to go over one side, back over the top. And that's just enough to kind of keep everybody where we want it. Now, I'm going to come over right here with my thread. Get that captured and out of the way. I'm going to trim off my excess. Alrighty. Oh, squeaky bobbin today. And what I want to do is I want to turn this fly. And I don't want to capture too much material by the eye. So remember how we talked about you want to, whatever space you've got in front of the eye, this is the space you've got to hang the last of your material on. Okay? Alright, so let's keep that in mind. Now we got a pretty homely looking little fly right now, but we're going to brush it out. He just needs his hairs brushed. And I'm just using a Loon dubbing brush and just kind of go all over it. more time you spend picking this out now, the buggier it's going to look overall when you're done. And when you get done, you can, go back and add a little bit more if you want to. So not a big deal. All right, so that's picked out and that's looking a lot better already. And just remember, when you're dealing with dubbing, guys, if you don't like the length of it, you don't have to trim it. You can just pull on it like I'm doing to get to the length you want. Next up, we're going to take some tiger barred rabbit strip. This is in brown. This is black, orange, over tan, but you can use whatever color tickles you. I'm just going to cut a little bit off, just a little small strip right here. All right. That ought to have done it, and it did. Now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to flip my fly over. Okay, guys, so you can see this. I'm going to come right here with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure these hairs are laying back the way I want them to, and I'm going to take my zonker strip and I'm going to poke a hole through the zonker strip with the hook. Okay, so boop, right through there, just like that. I'm going to pull it from the vise real fast, pull that down snug, just like so, and that's going to let it go all over what we're working on, and it's actually going to help keep us from fouling up later when we're casting. We don't want that rabbit strip to get all fouled up. So, all right, so we're going to pull our thread back as far back as we can to the eye of the hook, to those dumbbell eyes. Pull this down nice and tight. Go back. Bam. Now we're going to take this excess right here we've got, and we're just going to trim it off. There we go. Look at that, like we meant to. Not too bad. Now we're going to come on up with it. Remember, we don't want to crowd that hook, okay? So you see how we left that eye nice and open? We want to make sure we leave nice room there. So if you need to, just remember, next time, put your eyes back a little bit further. Now we're going to repeat that same step we did. We're going to take that blue, crusher leg, and I want you to notice I pulled this strip out way further than what it needs to be, and there's a reason for it, and I'll show you in a minute. Let's get this guy buttoned down. Squeaky bobbin. Bring it around the other side. Turn this guy on over. Lay him down just like so. Okay. Get a hold to it. Very nice. Now we're going to go back over it. We're going to grab that little bit of red. A little bit of red crystal flash. A little goes a long way. Okay. I'll do that same thing again. Come around that other side with it. Now the reason I'm doing it this way is because when we trim, everything will be the same length. Be nice and easy. Trying to make sure everything's going the way we want it. Very nice. No complaints at all. All right, next up, let's add some eyeballs to this creation. And for this, we're going to be using some EP UV eyes. This is the UVX crustacean eyes. This is a size medium. I'm doing it in yellow today. But whatever color suits you is a great color. So you might want to do green or orange or whatever, and that's more than fine. All right, now I've got my two eyes, and I just want to make sure they're sitting there about the same length. Okay, and then I'm going to lay them down and push them just past the hook bend. You see what I mean? All right, I'm going to set this on top. Bring it on over. Oh, squeaky bobbin. Okay. Now all we got left is to tie this guy off. Trim it up, make it look nice. So what we're going to do first is we're going to trim off our eyes. All right, now remember how I told you we were leaving this excess on for a reason? I'll show you exactly what we're doing. I'm gonna pull this nice and tight, okay? And then when I trim this, bam, look at that. It just went right in there, nice and easy. Keeps us from making a mess. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Bam, snuck right into that thread. Why I like that. We're gonna trim off that little bit of red. Crystal flash, very nice. Very nice indeed. All right, and then what I'm okay, 2 double half hitches. Bring this guy on over. Now y'all can obviously whip finish, but I'm a loser and I can't whip finish. So, been shown how a couple times, but I just can't get there from here. I don't reckon. All right, pull that on up. Oh, there we go. Very nice. Same thing again. And I think this is a nice, simple, and easy way to tie off a fly. Bam, there we go. Very nice. Trim off that excess a little bit. Next up, we're going to hit it back with that flow again. Do love this stuff. Go right on around with it. Okay. Now we got a little bit of loon flow in the eyes. So before I tighten down on them, I'm going to show you, or before I UV treat it, I'm going to show you what I like to do. This happens, and it happens every now and then, even if we're being super careful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of Mason's hard nylon. And in this case, I can go even a little bit easier. I got some of the eyes, the stalk from the eyes that I cut off. And I'm just going to clear through here. Just clear right on through here. Just going to make sure we're not making a mess of things. And if you want to, we can just cure that right on up, just like we sit. Okay, it's all done. Take my little bit of eyeball out of there and boof, there we go. Nice and clean. Nice and clean. Boy, that was easy, wasn't it? All right, now we're just going to trim this fella up. I'm going to take right here and I'm going to take a look at the length of my rabbit strip. How far do I want it to go back? Now, one thing I want you guys to know, that whenever you're trimming a rabbit strip, don't take your scissors and just cut. Don't do that, because that's going to square everything off and you're going to make a mess of it. I'm just going to grab these razor scissors of mine, and I'm going to come right here with it. I'm going to pull my skin back. You see I've got my thread. I'm going to get everything out of the way so y'all can see this. There we go. All right, let me turn it. There we go. All right, I'm going to get everything out of the way. Now I'm going to take this here. Now you can just use a razor blade or whatever you want. And all we're going to do, you see I've got this at this angle and I'm cutting down, okay? Wait a little bit, got it? Bam, oh look at that. It gives that really nice taper to it. You see what I mean? How you got tapered on back? Now, first thing I'm going to do, it's a lot easier if you got a razor blade. I don't know where I set mine at. And I'm going to get this just a hair longer than my rabbit strip. And because I pulled everything back together, when I cut, it all stays the right length. I'm going to do the same thing again for this up here. I'm just going to pull this loop up. And notice, because the way I did it, I've got the red and the blue. And I want this just to be a hair shorter. Right there. Boom. That's it. Well, it was nice and simple. This guy got looped back over. He probably would have been fine, but we want to make it nice and clean. And now all we got to do is just get everything in order. Brush it out a little bit. And that's all there is to it, guys. That's a slipper shrimp. Nice, clean, simple fly. You can tie it in a bunch of different sizes. This is a size 4. We could go up or down from there. Okay guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's a really simple pattern to tie. Ties up really quick. It's really effective. You can tie it in a variety of different sizes. There's no wrong answer. There's no wrong colors. You adjust it to what works for you, and we'll see you on the water.